Dear students, in this unit, we will talk about the evolutionary tree, how to make evolutionary tree based on the homologies. Now, as we are aware, in earlier lectures, you have studied that similarities and differences in the biochemistry as well as molecular biology of various organisms, it provide evidence for the evolutionary relationship among different organisms. So the line of descent based only on biochemical and molecular characters often resembles the line of descent based on structural and fossil evidences. So in a way, this molecular level studies, they also support the earlier studies when the organisms, they had a different kind of classifications. They had different branches based on the fossil record as well as their structural similarities and differences. Now, this is a typical phylogenetic tree of life. These are constructed according to the evolutionary relationship that exists between organisms based on homologous traits. Homologous traits mean those traits which are common in these organisms. As you can see in this evolutionary tree, this phylogenetic tree of life, they all are branching from the same root. So this shows that all organisms, they have they have one root or one ancestor where they branched off. And you can see as they started splitting from each other, these are the bacteria. And there is another type of prokaryotes which are known as archaea. They have a different lineage, but they also split earlier. And you must be aware that bacteria and archaea are the organisms which are called prokaryotes. They don't have very well-defined nucleus, so they are very primitive organisms. So as we move along a different branch, it leads to the eukaryotes. Eukaryotes are those organisms, they start from unicellular organism to multicellular complex organisms, and they all originated in a different branch. And you can see that these eukaryotes, they have originated from the same ancestor, but based on evolutionary evidences or evolutionary differences, they have a separate branch which includes fungi, animals, plants, as well as different protists, which are also the eukaryotic organisms. Now, phylogenetic trees represent hypothesis about the evolutionary relationship among a group of organisms. A phylogenetic tree may be built using morphological or maybe biochemical or even behavioral or molecular features of species or other groups. So they are basically used in grouping different organisms with more similarities together. Now, in building a tree, species are organized into nested groups based on shared derived traits, mean those traits which are different from other groups' ancestors. Nodes are the branching points where the tree splits, just like we have seen that prokaryotes, bacteria, and the other organisms, they split early in the course of evolution. Now, we can recognize a root at the base of the tree as well as outgroups and nodes as you go along this evolutionary tree. So rotating around any node leaves the phylogeny unchanged. That remains the same. An outgroup is actually a taxon that branched off earlier in the evolutionary history, and we can construct both rooted as well as unrooted trees. And phylogenetic trees are very helpful whenever you want to group a certain group of animals, when you want to group them or when you want to see their evolutionary relationship among different groups. So it's very important in that point of view.